Hello YouTube, this is TheStabbyBrit, and this is PlanetSide 2, which I will not be playing just yet. This video is addressed to a YouTuber named Top Hats and Champagne, and I have the hiccups because I've been drinking half of the ingredients of a Jaeger bomb. Guess which ones? Give you a clue, it's not the one I want. So, Top Hats and Champagne makes various videos. I'm currently working through his responses to the claims made by quote-unquote console peasants. Quite enjoying them, and I've had the pleasure of discussing certain things with him in the comments section of one of his videos. Now, so this video is addressed to Mr. Top Hats and Champagne, and I'm hoping I am what is the word? I'm hoping I'm representing his position correctly when I say that Top Hats and Champagne believes that the conflict, as it were, between console and PC is about consumer choice, in that the PC is far more pro-consumer, in that they have much greater choice of hardware and of games and of how they play those games. The inputs, for example, much greater scope of just about everything, and of course the modding community and so on. So I hope I'm fair in it is fair for me to say that Top Hats and Champagne believes that the PC is a superior platform because it is far more pro-consumer. Now, while looking up to see whether or not PlanetSide 2 was going to be cross-compatible, because I was hoping that I could sit on my sit on my couch playing my PS4 and enjoying first-person shooter action on the console, because that's where I prefer it. I simply don't like playing first-person shooters on the PC, but my friends do. And at least one of my friends plays PlanetSide 2, so I was hoping we could play together, but we can't. And while finding out why we can't, I stumbled upon an article. And I have a few quotes from a Mr. Let me get the name correct. From a creative director for PlanetSide 2, a Mr. Matt Higby. Now, if you will indulge me, I will read a few quotes for you. And this is from a Eurogamer.net article. If I remember, I will put it in the comments. So, after these quotes, you should probably guess what I'm angling at with this video. So, quote, "To engineer the game for the PS4 is a lot easier because you have a consistent set of hardware that you're optimizing against," Higby explained. "It really is a challenge to optimize high-end PC games to be able to work on the pantheon of hardware that is available to players nowadays. It's just insane. The PS4 is a much more consistent, stable platform for us to develop for." And there I shall end my quote. It's a bit. It goes on. It goes on further, but I don't believe it's relevant for this point, because the issues it brings up for developing for the PS4 are equally valid for any PC that has an AMD chip. So, my point, as you might have guessed, is Mr. Top Hat and Champagne, or indeed anyone else who holds his position, if the strength and power of the PC lies in its pro-consumer benefits, could a case not be made that the console is far more pro-developer, and that if a developer knows their hardware in advance and does not have to optimize for a wide range of potential machines, could they not conceivably provide a superior product? Perhaps now we will concede, perhaps not necessarily superior in terms of raw graphical fidelity, but certainly perhaps in terms of overall presentation. After all, I am firmly of the opinion that graphics are not everything. Minecraft is one of my favorite games, Papers, Please is one of my all-time favourite games, and that frankly looks bad for a NES game, let alone the PC game, which it is. So, I appear to have adopted an accent from somewhere, I don't know. Maybe it's all this, maybe it's got something to do with all the empty cider cans and bottles surrounding me on all sides. So, I am not an alcoholic. I'm not. And it was the Monster, not the Jaeger, I was drinking earlier. Just so you know. Moving swiftly on. So, I would be interested, Mr. Top Hat and Champagne, if you ever do encounter this video, and if you don't, I'm more than happy to hear anyone else who'd like to comment on the video. Your thoughts regarding whether or not the sheer variety of hardware options and varying requirements can in fact hinder the development of PC games to some extent. Now, I'm obviously not suggesting that you cannot overcome these obstacles, by no means, and I'm not going to fall into the trap of pointing to the one example of a terribly optimized game and say that's the norm. Although, anecdotally, I will say that the games that I really want to play on PC have suffered, unfortunately. The Rome 2, for example, was plagued with problems where different graphics cards and sound different graphics cards weren't working properly. There were sound issues, some people not getting sound, this, that, and the other. And so I suppose that's it. I mean, do you think perhaps there is a valid point to be made for the benefits of hardware standardization? And I suppose what would be your ideal middle ground? I mean, how much, if there is something, if there is a case to be made that there is perhaps too much variation in PC hardware, where would be what would be the medium? Where would be the compromise between the pro-consumer freedoms of the PC and the far more developer-friendly standardization of the console? So I hope this will lead to an interesting discussion. Perhaps. We can but hope. This is the TheStabbyBrit saying I really do wish there was a Jaeger left in the house. Cheers.